Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to our podcast, Strong, Grounded, Unstoppable. This is for women who are so done just coping and who really want to begin to live. It's for women of a certain age, and here we sit, Kim and I, way over 50, but happy and mostly healthy, but with a few little tweaks and creaks, which Kim, being a wellness woman, is totally wonderful. But welcome, Kim, before I go any further.
Absolutely welcome, and welcome to all the listeners. I'm hoping we're getting some repeat listeners now because each time we talk, we kind of uncover different things. So
We do,
yeah.
and forgive us if we repeat certain things, but that's probably not a bad thing
No,
because we do need
no.
to hear or see things a number of times before we really take them in. And speaking of in, we're going to talk today about the fact that just like happiness, self-worth, self-love is an inside job. I once, must have been about maybe 5, 6 years ago, I posted a social media post with a picture of me saying, I believe all women deserve to feel beautiful and empowered. And I posted it in a group of older women because I felt that was appropriate. And I had one person responded with, well, if I looked like that, I'd feel empowered too. And so I thought, well, oh, okay, but you're missing the key word here, which is feel.
Yeah.
I learned when I was doing my boudoir photography that if a woman felt beautiful, she felt beautiful and she acted beautiful. And it didn't matter what on earth she looked like on the exterior.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you a question actually. Have you ever seen somebody on social media or across a room and thought, oh, I wish I was like them, or I wish I had what she had, or I wish I looked like them, then I'd be happy. It's like people who go for nose jobs, boob jobs, now we've got bum jobs. And I get it that, you want to make the best and feel like you're making the best of yourself, but I feel that you need to do the inner work as well,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't just fix low self-worth, not loving yourself with a nose job. Externally, you can think, oh yeah, my boobs look better, but it's not going to be a lasting transformation. That takes time and a bit of effort. And in fact, I think it was Oprah who said, if we don't do the internal work, whatever we do on the external, because when we've lived most of our life and we really start getting to that point where, our body isn't going to do what we want it to do, if we haven't fixed the internal, the external's all going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And if we haven't done the internal, we can't sort of go through, whether you go through into the next life or whether you go up to heaven or to peace, feeling truly at peace, and though your life has been a good, happy, loving one. And when I say loving, I mean with oneself. And actually, as a rather sad, but an example very close to me, my mother needed or used all the external to make her happy, as to fill in a void that was unfillable. She literally did retail therapy, and she bought, oh my goodness, she would spend thousands on herself as retail therapy, but it never fixed the inner void.
No.
And it was really interesting because, bless her heart, the cancer that she got, somebody looked up the metaphysical meaning of the cancer for me. And they sent me the metaphysical meaning for pancreatic cancer by mistake. And that was the cancer that my dearest friend had died of. And that was absolutely spot on. I thought, wow. So when I was then sent the meaning for peritoneal cancer, that was just mummy. Frustration, anger, nothing ever being enough.
Yeah.
Oh, it was actually quite a shock, and I felt quite upset. So we really are all about here and with the program that I have doing the inside work. And I'm passionate about that because there was a time when I thought, although I never wanted to be anybody else, there was a time when I thought, oh, it's okay for them. They've got this or they've got that. And Kim, you were saying about social media and what that does to us.
Well, yeah, I've got a couple things to say around all of that, but definitely social media. I think since then, and even in groups, right? In the groups, we are really comparing ourselves to everybody else in that group. And I've let myself go out of certain groups because I have found that people, like I get attracted to health groups, right? About certain conditions or whatever. But with everything I've studied over the years, and I'm talking like more than 30 years, kind of studied the inner stuff, but people want to own that disease. So if it's cancer or if it doesn't matter, like different groups I've just kind of backed out of because people just want to complain about their condition rather than the saying I always say to you, what would you rather have? So, like, yes, you may have whatever, but what would you rather have? But I do want to bring up, you were talking there about the nose job. So there's a really famous book, and I think it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. Pretty sure Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
Wow.
Maltz.
Okay.
You can look it up, but he was a plastic surgeon. And what his book was all written, different cases and things that he discovered over the number of years, but he could give somebody a new face, right? Like he literally would had these stories of people that were so disfigured and they thought if they had a new nose or they had whatever, they would be happy.
I think,
and they weren't.
Sorry to interrupt, but yes, because I get that people who are disfigured or have bad burns, with the plastic surgery,
the burns, that's different.
Or oh gosh, what's her name? The British woman who had the acid attack, and so she's done brilliantly. And she's had so much facial reconstruction and something.
Yeah.
What's her name, Kim?
I can't think, and I know who you
I
mean.
look her up. But she is a wonderful advocate for people, but not so many people understand the pain that woman is going through constantly.
Yeah.
But her mental strength is fantastic because she's using what happened to help other people. So yes, I love that phrase, what would I rather have, or what would I rather be or do? Because it brings it back to our self.
Yeah.
And also I totally agree. I used to call, when in the early days of having fibromyalgia, I would say, oh, I have fibromyalgia, or my fibromyalgia. I'm not owning it anymore.
No.
I call it the fibromyalgia, as much as I can remember, because I'm not owning it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've talked a bit about that before. So what would I rather have? That is a powerful sentence. When you go through, take us back to the beginning. Let's say somebody's going through something, and
well, it's all, like you said earlier, it's all inner work, and a lot of the stuff that we have to work on are subconscious beliefs. They're things that we picked up from, from birth or from messages from our parents, and we talked about that. But any sentence that you use that you say, I am, it's what follows the am. So if I am tired, I am in pain, you are reconditioning the mind, the subconscious mind, to be that. So
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is. You're just telling your subconscious mind, that I am those
because
things.
Yes. In the reverse, the I am affirmations.
Yes.
Done with the present I am
are
very
strong. I am
powerful.
Confident.
Yes,
I am.
Yes. So it's watching our self-talk.
And it's what you would rather be, right? So what would you rather
Yes,
be? So I
yes.
am healthy. You don't want to say I am pain free, because then you are still looking at the pain. So you want to
Okay.
say I am healthy, I am strong, I am flowing with ease, I am able, I am like all of the
Mm,
good. Not, you don't want to say
mm,
I'm cancer free. I am. You don't want to say the word that you still
mm.
don't want to be.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, excuse me, very careful with our mind speak and our self talk.
Yes.
And I have to say that everything all around this is at various stages in the program,
Yes.
the Mastering Mental Toughness program, even comparison. And it's actually really interesting, that element about, there are 4 elements in one slide that I talk about self esteem. And one of them is the element of self comparison.
Hmm.
And I actually crossed it out because it's not good to compare. And there are 4 questions on the workbook on the page, and there's self comparison. And I've crossed it out after having, delivered the notes on the video around that slide. And then I crossed out, I say, but do you? Because it's so easy. These things are all so easy to slip into. And I think we have to keep a watch on ourselves
Hmm.
far more before we've done the holistic inner work,
Hmm.
until these things are all a habit, until we are holistically healthy,
Yep.
because it can all be a habit. I
Yep.
can remember Guru Tony Robbins being at an airport. This was a story, and he was in an airport, and the flight was cancelled. And he was with a colleague or another chap, and this other chap was going completely bananas about this flight being cancelled. Oh, you've got to get us on another. And he'd lost the plot, as at airports people do.
Right.
And Tony Robbins was as calm as anything, and that his colleagues all, he said to him, aren't you, are you angry? Aren't you frustrated? And Tony said, I'm a little bit peeved, because what can you do?
Hmm.
You cannot control the cancellation of that flight. So what is the point about getting your blood pressure up and all about that? So it's all of these elements around anything that goes on is in our day. We can have the kind of mindset which will deal with them
Hmm.
healthily. And that doesn't mean to say we're perfect. Or I cried yesterday. I was listening to Desert Island Discs. I love that. And they played a song which took me right back to the first love of my life when I was 21. And he was killed. And I think maybe my life would have been very different. And so, I just shed a tear because that was really sad, and it triggered that sadness. But also, I remembered how he used to put his head around the corner and sing the Elton John song, You Are My Princess, and buy me Estee Lauder's white linen soap. And so that brought happy memories because I was validated and loved. And it's, even if a love hasn't lasted, or, you've moved on,
Hmm.
it's good to sometimes remember that you were loved
Hmm.
and how that felt.
Well, it's right. You're
So,
kind of answering what I would rather have, right? Like, so you
oh,
felt sad for a moment, but then you switch to what would I rather feel right now? I'd rather feel loved. I'd rather feel the goodness that came out of that, right?
mm. And
So,
the beauty of it is I do,
yeah,
because then the next emotion to come is gratitude for
yeah,
what I have with my
yes,
lovely partner. And, and it's just so much.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think it is
acknowledging
that,
that, though. It's acknowledging that we do have those human feelings. There's no doubt about
yeah,
it. But
I'm Pisces, I can cry an ocean.
it's being able to switch it before it
Mm,
anchors in. And that's
yes.
more of the,
Mm,
because the more you bring up the thing that is the thing you don't want, and you keep repeating it, you anchor it in
mm.
again, so it
I
becomes true again.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
I can remember a few years ago, I'd met somebody. I did online dating for 8 years and it didn't serve me very well. Had a couple of I met a couple of people who sort of became really good friends, and one like my brother, which is great. But it didn't serve me well because I hadn't completely and utterly properly done all the inner work. For the most part, however, um, I was still financially challenged, or I was not financially empowered, and I felt that. So that was the bit of me that felt less than.
Yeah. An
And it was
insecurity.
for,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
Hmm.
And so now I've gone blonde and I can't remember where I was going with that. So I did attract some not very nice people over the
Hmm.
ether. And there was one woman who's in my first Women of Spirit volume, Ruth. I was at a meeting of the group that actually awarded me Advocate for Women. And she said to me, Susie, because I had to go bankrupt because of some debts left by my ex-husband. And I tried to cope with and all. And my business mentor said, Susie, this is making you ill. You're going to have to go bankrupt. Let it go. And the humiliation for me and, the tears and everything. Ruth said to me, Susie, please remember, and this is a really lovely thing to understand, the amount of your bank balance does not equate to the amount of your value as a human being.
Exactly. It doesn't
Either
define you.
way, actually,
Yeah.
you could also say that just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you're more than or better than anybody else. It works both ways. What matters is what's inside us
Hmm.
and how we deport ourselves and with other people.
Hmm.
End of lecture.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
Kim, yeah, your the what would I rather have and be and do are all encompassing, aren't they?
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say, yes, definitely. It is literally just saying that phrase switches you into a better vibration of thinking of the things that you want to attract
Mm.
rather than thinking of the things you don't want, right? So,
Mm.
but Wayne Dyer has a kind of a story that he used to always tell. And he would ask, like, he'd be doing a lecture and he would ask them, okay, like, if I have an orange, what's inside of this orange? And of course everybody would just say, well, orange, there's orange juice in there, it's an orange, right? And then he would say, so if I squeeze this orange, I can't get lemon juice out, I can't get lime juice out, I can't get grape juice out of this orange. And the moral of the story is that when you get squeezed, so you get angered, you get whatever, the only thing that can come out of you is what's inside of you. So
Mm.
that lady that had the bad, saw your post or whatever and had that bad comment, that's what's inside of her,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
it's not a
Yeah.
reflection on you at all.
No.
But we
No.
as women
Mm.
feel like we have to apologize or figure out why they thought that way rather than just go,
Yes, yes, we do have that element, very
right?
much
So
so.
it's what's
And it's
inside.
not us, it's them.
Yep.
And certain things have, happened, which we're going to talk about later with legal stuff and family. And I had a two paragraph diatribe of unbelievable nastiness from
A person.
the member of the family.
Yeah.
It was just I was trembling after I read it, and a psychiatrist read it, and he said, self-projecting, and there's a whole, but wow, there's a whole PhD in psychology in those two
Yep.
paragraphs.
Yep.
And so it wasn't about me, it was about them. And so please try and remember that when you're going through something and perhaps somebody is being really unfairly horrid to you, which happens,
Mhm.
it says more about them than it does about you. There is a saying, actually, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. Now, I get that, but I think there's a limit of how much someone else needs and wants and intends to hurt someone else.
Mhm.
There's a level about that. But I understand that there is, behind anger, there is pain,
Mhm.
you
Yes,
know, and
definitely.
so there's a lot here to unpick. So I think we'll leave it for another time. And Kim, thank you for that story. That is a wonderful story. And I look forward to seeing you next time.
Mhm.
Everybody, I look forward to your presence, your company next time. Please like and subscribe and share, share, share. And if you feel like you have something to say, please get in touch with me. And I invite you to come on and be a guest on this podcast. I'd love to have you. I'm sure that would be amazing. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye
Bye.
for now.